Olympics. What does it mean to you to have this opportunity to go run at the Olympics?
Hi, how you doing? Honestly, it's been a long year. It definitely means a lot. To be able to get through all the adversity having to experience through COVID and training situations. Indoor season was really rough for me. So turn around and be able to make an Olympic team is an honor and definitely a blessing.
You mentioned it being a long year. How challenging was it with, maybe you originally thought you'd be going to the Olympics a year ago and then it gets pushed back for a year?
I am a firm believer that, everything happens for a reason. So, with that being said, around that time, right when COVID actually, became a thing, I was actually it was a rough patch in my season. So it was kind of, I guess fortunate to get a little break and get, track lifted off my shoulders for a little while. I've been running track for 11 years and COVID gave me rest that I have never, really experienced coming from, running every year and stuff like that. So it was kind of cool to get a little bit of rest and then, be able to jump right back into things. So
You're from DC, but you're representing Trinidad and Tobago. How did that come about?
Yeah, so my mom is from Trinidad. I have dual citizenship with them. I grew up in a Trinidadian household. I was embraced with the culture really young when I was, growing up. My mom's side of the family and stuff. So, I always told myself that was something that, I wanted to do, growing up. When I first came to OSU my freshman year, I represented the U.S. In Finland for World Junior Championships. And, after that, I decided to go ahead and switch my allegiance over as I was transitioning into the senior level of track and field, because running for Trinidad is something I knew I wanted to do, especially, going into the professional route.
What does that mean to your mother to get to see you represent her home country?
It's surreal for her and my family. I'm getting messages every day, telling me how proud they are of me. I did exactly what I said I was going to do, starting back, high school and stuff, letting them know, I think that's what I want to do is run for Trinidad. So, it's really cool for them to, see it, actually happening.
Eric,
Yes.
Pete from Letterman, what's it mean to represent Ohio State too? I know you're going there for Trinidad and Tobago, but it must mean something to represent a place like Ohio State.
Of course, yeah. Ohio State, it hasn't had the biggest name in track and field over the years. I think, between me and Navia, Sade, Adelaide, other athletes before me, Nick, Zach, Zill, all those athletes have been, helping Ohio State make a name for itself in track and field. So, that's been one of the goals for me since I came here, help Ohio State grow as a program with track and field, and it's Ohio State has a big name and big brand, so it's going to be a great experience being able to rep them while I'm in Tokyo.
What brought you to Ohio State? Was it?
Honestly, I think I immediately connected with Coach Joel. I think that was probably the biggest attraction for me. That, and then the team at the time, I immediately bonded with them. It felt like the right environment for me coming from my high school, and then my high school coach. I got the similar taste to both, so I definitely felt like Ohio State was best for me at the time.
Eric Maria Durant with ABC 6 and Fox 28. When you go to Japan, family, friends, not allowed to travel and be there, would that be a little bit difficult? How will they watch you, so far away?
That's a really good question, and I think COVID luckily kind of prepared me for this, because beginning of COVID and indoor season, there were no fans, nobody could come to the meets. It was only the athletes and the coaches. So of course, the Olympics is a much bigger venue, so it would be a little weird with a big stadium like that, nobody there. But I think I'll be pretty prepared for it. I'm assuming the only way they'll be able to watch is through TV. but I'm not entirely sure what programs will be available for people to watch and view the meet. But I'm sure they'll figure something out, whether they had to put noises in the stadium to give us a similar feel to as if people were there. But I'm trying to stay as focused as possible and not worry too much about the fans. So.
You're probably good with FaceTime though, right?
Yes.
Hey, Derek, Austin Ward from Letterman Road. When you were talking about representing to some extent Ohio State, what is it you think as an athlete who's here that it's about this university that supports so many different programs? You're talking with pistol, there's track, you got all the different Olympians, fencing. How is it that this university is able to support so many different athletes in so many different sports?
I think Gene Smith does a great job. Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken, has I think the most sports in college. In the NCAA. So it's tremendous how we're able to spread our attention among all these different sports. That can be difficult. I can imagine that could be difficult. So I think Ohio State has a lot of programs, opportunities, and connections that allow athletes to excel where they need to for all sports. So I think everything is available for different sports so that they can excel. Either that's weight room, tracks, fields, different venues and stuff. Ohio State offers a lot for people to excel at their sports. So.
To go back to like when you were recruiting or making your decision, I mean, lots of schools have big programs, track programs. You talked about your coach, but is it that overall commitment that helped tip you?
I think one thing I was really focused on was two things I was really focused on with coming out of high school is I wanted to develop my thing was if I wanted to get better every year. I wasn't worried about being the best my freshman year or sophomore years. I wanted to just at least get better every year. That's if that meant dropping 100th off my time every year. That's what I wanted to do to get to where I am now. So I looked at Coach Joel's track record, how he's done with athletes over time, and another thing is I wanted to go somewhere where I would get attention. I think that's important as an athlete to you don't want to essentially follow the hype just because you go there. You might not get the same experience as another athlete, but at least here I knew I could fit in to where I could get enough attention from the coach to where I wouldn't be kind of just a number, essentially. So.
Do you feel like you're more prepared now than you would have been a year ago?
Yes, mentally, I definitely think so. Yeah.
How do you feel like you've improved as a runner over the course of your time at Ohio State?
I think over time I've gotten a lot smarter with the sport. Became a lot more knowledgeable with small things as far as my body, and then things that will help me in the sport to excel. My coach kind of makes fun of me sometimes because he says I'm too smart, essentially because I will negate some of the things he says, or we'll have like conversations because I'm thinking too much about stuff. So it can be a good and bad thing, but I think over time being more knowledgeable with the sport has definitely helped me be able to get to this point.
Name, image, and likeness just became a thing in college sports. I'm curious, does going to the Olympics, has that created any opportunities in that space for you?
Definitely. I think that's a great opportunity for athletes to take advantage of that. I definitely plan on taking advantage of that in the near future. Even before fall begins, I hope to have some plans or deals in mind. So, yeah.
How do you think this opportunity can help you then bring it back to Ohio State and bring it back to this team that you're a part of?
Well, I think just the fact that those opportunities are being presented while I'm in college. So I have another year of college. So whatever deals or things that get put in play for me, I'll be representing them and representing Ohio State at the same time. So I think they're both tie in with each other.
Eric, a little
Yes.
while I went
Spectrum News. Can I ask
Okay.
what your goals are heading into Tokyo?
I would say, my goals are to, definitely, enjoy myself, enjoy the experience. I don't want to overlook things, get there and get too focused to the point where I forget I'm there, and then, I don't enjoy the fact that I'm at the Olympics in Tokyo, a place I've never been before. I think that's really important, and I think that's something athletes do a lot. They kind of, get too caught up in their headspace to the point where they completely miss the experience. And so one thing I'm definitely focused on is, make sure I enjoy myself, and then, I train every day, so I'm not, and there's no doubt in my mind that I'll be able to perform to my best ability. So